Good morning. Good afternoon. Good noon. It's actually noon here in California. That's where this is coming from. Jeff Africa's Last Dance. Or making it from the head to the heart. Learning how to live life through the resonance of the heart. Leave the old mind behind, the old pains and insecurities and stupidities, and fall into the heart of reality. Okay? Creating a heart-shaped world. A lion cub of the Divine Mother, I was somehow thrown into life in the sheepfold of human frailties. Living long with the sheep of fear and failure and disease, I bleated with weakness. I had forgotten my lion's roar, which frightened away all wicked pestering sorrows. O lion of realization, thou didst drag me away from the sheepfold and unto the waters of meditation, and thou didst say, open thine eyes and roar. But I kept my eyes tightly shut and bleated with fear. The roar of thy wisdom reverberated through me, and the hard shakings of spiritual urge made me open my eyes, and lo, there in the crystal pool of peace, thou didst show me my face to be like thine. Now I know I am the lion of cosmic power. No more do I bleat in fear of affairs and suffering. Once again, I roar with the vibrant power of the Almighty. Bounding in the forest of experiences, I seize the little vexing worries, the timid fears, the wild hyenas of disbelief, and I devour them ruthlessly. O lion of immortality, roar through me, thine all-conquering power of wisdom. Paramahansa Yogananda's Whispers from Eternity. That's a prayer demand. Things like this we do. Things like this we set forth out into the universe and make sure everyone knows where we are and where we're going. Talking about a foot in the divine and a foot here on earth. That's one way we get that done. A prayer demands just like that to remind us of who and what we truly are. Okay, now let's continue with our story. Our ballad of Scott Mcmillan, one of my favorite people on earth. Okay, what I forgot to tell you was something else we did when we were teenagers is he had a train track behind his backyard. There's his fence and there's a train track. They noticed the train would just stop there around 11 o'clock. And one night they just, before it continued on, and one night they decided, let's just hop on that train and see where it goes. So him and some of his friends just did that. And they just hopped on and the train went slowly all the way to San Francisco. And they kind of got off, got something to eat, just, palled around a little bit, then hitchhiked back. And then a month later, he comes to me and he goes, Jeff, look we're hopping a train tonight. This is what we did. And we want you to come. I go, well, just hop a train and let it go see where it goes. Of course, we knew where it goes at that point. But I go, well, look, I'm going to have to ask my parents about that, So me and him went to my parents' house. We went to my house. And I said, Dad, look, Scott here has a train that stops out in his backyard, just beyond his backyard. And he jumps it. He got on it and just rode to San Francisco. And hitchhike back, can I go with them? And the coolest thing, one of the coolest things my parents ever did, my dad ever did, was think about it for a minute and go, yeah, sure, you can do it. See, I bring this up especially to let everybody know what we did in the 60s. We weren't sitting around with computers and games and in the room with phones, social media, all that stuff. We just went out there and did stupid things. Saturday, 9 o'clock, we'd eat breakfast. 9:30, 10, I'm out that door. Be back for dinner. That was it. Just be back for dinner, 5 o'clock. And we were just out running around being kids. That's what's missing today. That's what we're missing. Okay, we got to get back to that. Just getting out there and expressing life, getting involved with life, just seeing what gives. I didn't know when I left that home at that age what was going to happen. This is 12, 13, 14, 15, 11. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just left. And as long as I was back for dinner, no one worried, no one cared, no one was afraid. I wasn't afraid. My parents weren't afraid. And we've got to get back to some of that. We all got to go jump a train and just see where the hell it goes. See what I mean? That's another thing Scott brought to my life. Another funny thing is when we first moved out together in Texas, this is in Richardson, Texas, I got a graveyard job. So it was like from Thursday through the weekend to Tuesday, I got a couple days off, and then again. So we'd be partying, Friday and Saturday nights we'd be partying, drinking, smoking pot, playing music, playing games, whatever we wanted to do. And around 10:30 I go, well, shit, I guess I got to go to work. that's how kind of a little bit screwy it was. I think he gave me a ride to work. I was working in a plastic factory. You're just standing at the end of this conveyor belt, tearing off this plastic, tearing off the two ridges of this piece of plastic, tearing the plastic in half, and then putting that plastic, where it belonged. Just stacking it really. And that was my job, I eventually got fired. They go, Jeff, we don't think we want people, because I'd show up, in the middle of a party, basically. And, that's how we rolled for a bit. Scott would say to me, Jeff, shouldn't we be doing things right? I go, right? Yeah, eventually, yeah, Scott, eventually we'll do things right. But, we gotta be wrong for a while before we get to right, okay? If we just do right all the time, there won't be the contrast of moving from wrongness to right, and right will have no meaning. If everybody would behave right all the time, right really wouldn't exist. But that's how he was. He's always kind of saying, Jeff should, and I wanted to kind of be wrong for a while, so it was funny. I didn't really say any of that, but that's what I thought. Okay, back to Scott Mcmillan. So that's what basically he is. As we were continuing our last discussion, got cut off. That's what basically he was. He's like the king in Twin Towers in Lord of the Rings. That evil sorcerer cast a spell on him. He got all crusty around him, and he forgot who he was. And he was easily manipulated, made bad decisions, and until Gandalf came and relieved that spell, and he started to thaw out, and that crust started to break away from him, and he found out he was still the king, and he still woke up from that slumber that sorcerer had thrown on him, and he was himself once again. He found who he was once again. That's what my friend Scott has to do. The light and love is still in him. It's there. But it's just covered up through this life that he led that was anything but what he hoped it would be. Okay? And so, my job, what is my job? I mean, what can I say to my friend, my beloved friend, one of my favorite people in this world? What could I say to him that would help, that would be helpful? That's what this next video is all. There's going to be a couple of videos here. I'm going to keep these short because I don't like going 30 minutes. So what could I say to my friend Scott that would begin to bring him around and realize that he's just, his light and love has been cut in half, okay? His life has been a light diminishing proposition as he got the crap beat out of him in one situation and the next and the next, and held resentments and judgments and negative feelings about things. He got slowly covered up by life, and that's what he's like right now. He's still there. He doesn't remember, but he's still there. I remember, but he doesn't really. And I went through my own version. Hell, I just came back from the dead. We'll talk about that in a minute. But so what could I say to Scott? Okay, number one, here's what I would say. Number one, so this life didn't work out so much. So what? It doesn't matter, Scott. You lived thousands of lives before this one. You'll lead another 1,000 lives after this one. All right? And this is just one life in the mixed thousands of lives. Okay, no one expects you to get a perfect life all the time. Some lives are going to be good. Some lives are going to be not so good. All right? Actually, that's the plan. The plan isn't us always having great lives after one another. You know what I mean? That's not the plan. The plan is to have us to be rich, to be poor, to be all kinds of different situations coming into life. Okay, we want that. You would see it in cosmic terms. That is the desired. That is the desired way. The problem is you ended up taking this life too seriously. You didn't have the right perspective to flow through this life and to take it with a grain of salt. Okay, and this whole 3D reality is nothing but a movie. Okay, it's just a movie put together by God to give us a way to measure and challenge ourselves. Where we come from is so damn nice. We love being up there. It's so damn nice, but sometimes we want to challenge. And right now, the Earth reality, this Earth 3D reality, is the toughest challenge there is in the universe. Okay, and to be here and to be here, especially at this time, and I'll explain that to you sometime, is one of the toughest things to do, and it's really an honor to be present here on Earth at this most auspicious time. There are things going on that are going to blow your mind when you find out, and it is really an honor to be here right now. It says a lot of you and even your wife Vicky that you're here right now, that we're all here right now during this time to try to help the process that is going for this unfolding right before our very eyes. Do you see? So it doesn't matter, and in a very real way, Scott. Look at it in a very real way. Think how much you have to learn from this lifetime. If you stop taking it personally and stand back and accept it all and relax that it wasn't all that great, just let that go. Just breathe and let that, don't carry that weight that this life turned out to be a pile of crap. Okay, let it go. Think now, if from that objective perspective, as you pull yourself away and back and look at your life. Think how much you're going to learn from this lifetime. You're going to die. You're going to go up there. You're going to, with your guides and others that are going to be there, you're going to look back at your life. It's going to appear to you all in one big blast without any sense of time in it. It's all going to be right there. Now think how much you're going to learn from this lifetime. That's how you have to start thinking about it. Okay, all the things you weren't happy with, all the things you put up with, all the times when you should have said your truth yet you didn't do it, all the times you said things that you were just getting along with, that corporate way of you're the quintessential example of some guy who had his soul sucked out of him by corporate life. Surely you didn't really have your soul sucked out of him. That's a term, but you've had your light diminished by a corporate world and it forcing you to take things seriously and be a certain way in a way that simply is not that big a deal. Okay, no corporation truly is. When you think of things in cosmic terms, is that really big? Is that all that is really that big of a deal? I don't care what corporation it is. Like I said, I always knew there's no room for me in a corporate mentality, in a corporate setting. I had no problem with that either. I just knew I didn't like the stink of a corporation, and I never got involved. I never wanted to get that fully involved with that sort of stuff. So I played it fast and loose. Okay, so that's what this life was for you, a life diminishing prospect. Your inner love and your inner light has been diminished and covered over by the experience of this life because you didn't have the proper perspective, the spiritual, the complete perspective on how to handle moving forward in this life. That's how powerful. Look at. So this is a 3D illusion. Okay, there's nothing real about it. It feels real. It seems real, and it's a powerful illusion. That's how powerful this illusion is in this world. Look what it's done. Look how you're sitting. That's how powerful and how much real it's seeming, all the way to having your light diminished over it. Okay. You are, look at at the heart of it, at the core of it, you are a peace/child of God with unlimited potential. You're a being of love and light. Now that's a master thought. Okay, that's what I call a master thought. Now how does what your life experience is right now, how does that reflect that master thought? You are a being, a child/piece of God. We're all gods in a way. God made us out of himself. With unlimited potential, a being of love and light. That is the truth. Now, how much of your life is reflecting that master thought? Okay, that's what you have to consider. That's a master thought, and you have to start forming your life now around this new master thought. Okay, that this life is just a playground for us, and it's a very tough playground. It's a, there's nothing when you think of our ancestries, in the 1700s or in the 1900s, 1800s, 1700s, a lot of people went through a lot of bloody, difficult lives to get us where we are now. Much more difficult than this life was. We're the top of the ancestral line, so there's a lot of people who had a lot worse. Think of the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, 1100. Imagine the lives those people went through, which we have gone through those. We've had several lives, so we've gone through those decades and centuries of even way tougher lives than the ones we're at now. So that's something to consider. That it's a very, very tough school, and you should be very, very proud that you're here at all. And you've got a little bit mangled, but you don't have to sit there. Okay, you have to start to shake things off and see how you're going to move forward here. You got 10 good years left. Okay, 71 is the new 60. Okay, so you're not done. I think you retired at 55, It's time to get a little busy now. You don't have to sit there in grump. You need to have your heart like Scrooge. He had his whole being reinvented. He had his heart come alive again, his light come alive again when he got through with those three experiences of those spirits that came and encouraged and showed him what he really was. Okay, in a way, that's what has to be done here, and it can be done. You're a warrior. I'm a warrior. You're a leader. I'm a leader. And it's time to sort of gain perspective on what has happened and to see how you want to move forward with it. But basically, and the end of this one is no one cares that this life was a tough life. No one cares that it didn't end up so well. No one cares that it didn't. You're not held to any standard. In other words, that it didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out, and it was turned out to be a shit show of an experience. Okay, it's okay. Let yourself relax, shake it off. Don't take it so personally, and realize that accept it for just what it is. Okay, accept the fact that don't resist it at all. Accept the fact that accept and allow this life. And don't judge it. Just relax. Don't carry that weight that this is your only life and it turned out to be a mess. Don't carry that weight. It's not your only life. You got many more lives to come. You're going to learn a lot from this life, and that's the perspective you have to start thinking. I'm ending this right now because we're going to continue this. Okay, I'm going to go about maybe two more videos on this because there's still a lot to say, but I don't want to go long. So that's the beginning of it. That's the beginning of your rebirth. Okay, that's how we have to. That's how I came back from the dead. I'll explain that to you next time. But you should have seen the mess I was in. I came back from the complete dead. I gave up my life. I said, this is it. In my 50s, I said, this is such a lousy, stinking, freaking life. I don't want any more of it. Okay, now what was my next thought, Scott? Now listen, this is important. What was my next thought? I said, okay, now I've given up. What do I do now? I'll work, I'll do a job, I'll do this, but I can't wait to get out of here, basically. But what did I think? Now this thought here, this is very, very important. I thought, well, I'm going to start preparing for next lifetime. Because I never want to go through what I went through for 4 decades. Again, 3.5, 4 decades. I never want to go do that again. So I'm going to start right now using all my skills and abilities and start reading and doing things that are going to prepare me for my next lifetime because I don't want to go through that again. And that was a brilliant thought at the time, just a brilliant thought, and you may want to consider that very, very seriously. Okay, that's it for now. Let's keep this a little short. Okay, so this is the beginning. This is the beginning of a rebirth. Okay, you can rebirth yourself just like I rebirthed myself. Eventually, I got to the point where I did so many good exercises and read so many good books. I got to the point where you start to feel pretty good. Wow, I kind of feel good now. And I can do something this lifetime. And I really pulled myself up out of the shit. And I'm realizing that it's okay to be alive. It's nice to be alive. This is an honor to be here on Earth, traipsing around Earth at this particular time. And we have to start realizing that. All right, Jeff Africa, J Africa's Last Dance, citizen of Earth, proud citizen of Mother Earth, loyal patriot of the United States of America, and I stand unafraid. These four, Paramatma Yogananda, Jeshua ben Joseph, Jesus, Divine Mother, and Mother Earth. These four are on my shoulders right now, getting me to this new reality, this new heart-shaped reality, creating a heart-shaped world where I become a light to everyone around me. And everybody is benefiting by being in my presence and I in their presence. This is what I'm creating here, and it's working, and it can be done. I'm the example of it, that it can be done. So we're going to continue this discussion, and because there's more to say. All right, so wait till the next video. Thanks for all coming, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.